share my screen. Can you guys see? Yeah? Okay.
Like, it's really hard to feel successful when a lot of things are variables in your life.
Mediocre. Because I don't think I'm, in a job that I want to be doing for the rest of my life necessarily. I would say that I'm insecure. Like, if people say things like, "Oh, you can't do it," you're not good enough to do it.
In family is where she finds her greatest success. I just know that she will forever be there for me, as cheesy as that sounds.
It's been kind of hard because I don't have my dad around, so she has to be like the father figure also.
I had great success until right when he was born, and then I made a conscious choice to stop what I was doing.
One of my favorite things about him is that he's never satisfied with mediocre or less than 110%. So only a 1 to 10.
10's high, 1 is low.
Say 11 out of 10. She just has so much fun in life.
You know what this number is signifying?
No.
This is how successful I think you are.
He would define his own success as not just like making it, having money, cars, because he has something to offer in this world.
I'm in shock. As a successful person or a mother?
She just makes living with her so much fun.
What I think about her pursuing her dreams, I support it fully. I think that she's one of the most talented girls that I've ever met.
Was that for me?
All right. So I'm guessing that you guys didn't give yourself 10s or 11s across the board. Everybody's crying. I teared up a little bit, but the first time I watched it, I cried like a baby. So it wasn't fair because I had some warning. I knew it was coming. So I wanted to show you guys that because tissue warning. No, where's the fun in that? Then you guys would have been too ready for it. So I wanted you guys to see that because I know that I'm guilty of it too. We're our worst critics, and we are so wrapped up in our heads with all the things that we're trying to do, and we compare ourselves to everybody else, and we see all of the ways that we fall short of these really big things that we want to accomplish. And like I spoke about a couple weeks ago, let me see if I can find that quote. Like so many other women, we believe that we're failing if we don't perform at an unattainable level of perfection. But the people that love us and that care about us, the people that we're doing this for, they view us so differently because they don't see us through the haze of, self-doubt and self-judgment and those limiting beliefs. They see us through the eyes of love and through the eyes of seeing what goes on outside, not inside our own mess of heads and emotions. So many times we are so much harder on ourselves than we need to be because odds are you're doing a bang up job at all the stuff that you're trying to do. So I want you guys to take your paper and rip it up. Rip it up. Rip, because that's not your true number. That is absolutely not how successful you really are. And the only way it is your true number is if you put 11. And if you did, then bravo, you probably don't need to read as much self-development as the rest, or personal development as the rest of us. Maybe you should be leading some team calls in the future, so message me. So I hope that you guys can kind of go into the team call with like a little sigh of relief, knowing that you're doing a better job than maybe you think that you're doing. And I am so excited for us to hear from Christina today, or not Christina, sorry, you guys just typed that in, from Courtney today. I need to stop reading the chat when I'm trying to talk. So like I said before, Courtney has been a coach for 6.5 months, a little over half a year. She is one of Christina Almaguer's personally sponsored coaches. So she is a great grand coach, a grand coach of mine. They're both brides-to-be. So if you want to get married, you should have signed up under Christina, because everybody on her team's getting engaged. She's a bride-to-be. She is a talented performer. She is running around to auditions all day and an incredible coach. And from the very beginning, anybody who knows her knows that this is true. She has had a no excuses mentality from the beginning. She's hit Success Club 10 every month that she's been a coach. So she's already over halfway to being a Success Club 10 All-Star, which is crazy because Success Club 5 All-Star is a really big achievement in and of itself. Success Club, there's kisses happening over there. Success Club 10 is even crazier because that's taking kind of what we all should be doing and just raising the bar a step higher and then living in that level of excellence. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear from her. Like I said, she's a diamond coach. She hasn't been a coach for a million years. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear her perspective on having that success and no excuses mentality coming from someone who hasn't been at it for years and years. So if you're here and you're a newer coach, which all the coaches on our team, nobody's been a coach for more than 2 years here because we're a young team. I hope that you can kind of get some great perspective, this firsthand experience from someone who 100% is exactly in the trenches along with you. She doesn't have anything that you don't have at her disposal, and she's got some great insights and tips for going from kind of struggling to success mindset. So I'm going to hand it over. I'm going to mute myself, and Courtney, you can take it away.
Hi guys. So first of all, Becca, thank you for just letting me talk. This is nerve-wracking and awesome, and I'm super excited to be here. Something that I have been thinking a lot about, especially in the past few months, is what separates someone that is successful in this business and someone that is unsuccessful. And we talk about this a lot, but I've just been trying to define it in my life outside of coaching as well as my life with coaching. What are those principles that I have been able to put into play and that I have watched people put into play that have led to their success? So I thought that tonight I would just go ahead and share some of my top 10 things that I have been able to concretely define, and we'll just kind of dive into each one of those things and how they can apply to our lives as coaches. So the first thing that I'm gonna keep my notes close by. First thing that I stick closely to, and this is something that I have to be very diligent about, is don't waste your time with self-doubt. Self-doubt is something that inevitably every single one of us goes through, right? It's something that is gonna happen, but something that I have found, if we start diving in or allowing ourselves to just indulge in that self-doubt, it really puts us on hold from being able to propel our businesses forward. So I'm not saying don't experience self-doubt, because that's inevitable. But what I think is the best practice is to just acknowledge it, let it pass. So the same way when you go meditate or take a yoga class, right? Those things are meant for us to be able to free our minds. And when our thoughts start coming through, or we're starting to think about all those busy things that happen in our day, it's kind of just like breathing it in, accepting that it's happening, and then letting it go and moving on to that blank space of release and peace. The same thing has to be true for when that self-doubt comes in. When it happens, acknowledge that it's happening, acknowledge what it is, allow yourself to feel those things, and then let it go. Once we move on from that, we have all of this like open arena to be able to just go after that success. 2, always bet on yourself. Like, this is such a huge thing. And I feel like we are each so lucky to have gotten involved in a company that fully allows us to just bet on ourselves. We are 100% our greatest asset is ourselves. Our success is not determined by anyone else in this business. We have complete control over what we do and do not do in this business. And yes, you know, there are other people, you know, coaches that have to rank advance in order for us to be able to move forward. But you know what, guys, like, I hope you're seeing that even as an Emeralds coach, you can be making a substantial income. Like, you don't even have to be at Diamond or 15-star Diamond to be making money. So bet on yourself. You have nothing to lose. If you just dive in full force and say, you know what, I can succeed because I have it in my hands. My success is not determined by anyone else. Then you're going to be off to a great start. 3, learn to exercise tough love. And I know this might not be something that works for everyone. This is something that I have found does work for me. I am all about positivity and like giving yourself positive encouragement to move through things. But there are those times that you are just in a rut, and sometimes it's just really hard to get out of those places, or it may not even be like, this has happened to me. It may not even be a failure or something that has kept you from moving forward. It just may be flat out laziness. Like, for me, my frog is inviting. I hate it. Like, I just hate it. I love helping people. I hate having to do the work to help those people. Like, the process of getting there is just not my favorite thing. So it's the first thing I do in the morning, but the days that I don't do it in the morning and I leave it till the end of the day, which I know I shouldn't be doing, I have to exercise my tough love, because otherwise it's just not going to happen. So I encourage you all to figure out what tough love means for you and start saying those things out loud. For me, like, words that work for me are buck up and do it. Because, guys, what we do is not hard. It's not hard. And I just want everyone to take a second and think about this for just a moment. All the times that we tell ourselves, oh, the vital behaviors are so hard, or, oh, I need to make a video and I have to upload it and it's just so much work, or, I only have an hour of my day and I don't want to be spending it doing my workout. Like, all the things we're saying are hard are actually really easy. Like, fighting cancer is hard. Doing brain surgery is hard. Us working on ourselves and trying to invite other people to do the same thing, that is not hard. So if we just stop for a second, right now, tell ourselves, it's not hard. And what if I just woke up every single day and decided, this is easy? Start changing that mentality from it being something that's hard to accomplish to something that is easy, because it is easy. But the more we tell ourselves it isn't, the further away we're going to be from doing those things every day, because we're setting these barriers, these things that we need to jump over because they're so difficult to do, but they're not. Just decide that it's easy and you're going to do it. If So exercising tough love. Say these things out loud. It's not just up here, guys. Like, encourage yourself. I remember Becca saying, like, eat the frog, eat the frog, eat the frog with her phone call. Like, say it out loud, because it's a different thing to keep it all inside, and it's another to physicalize it and get it out of your body, because that is just something that naturally, like, it actually physically involves more energy. So it's already propelling yourself to do it. If it's not working, get creative. Like, go find another way and be the person that looks for solutions. We don't have time to complain. This leads to my number 4. Talk less and do more. If you spend so much time focusing on the fact that it's not working or something is going wrong and you just keep verbalizing that, the more you put it out there, the more that is attracting whatever it is that you're fearful of, that you are concerned isn't going to pan out for you over the course of the month. So stop verbalizing it and go find the solution. It is not worth our time to put energy into the things that we are scared of when we can be putting our energy into the things that are going to move our businesses forward and help us succeed. So be the person that finds the solution. I'm not saying with that, don't ask for advice, because obviously, like, that's what success partners are for. That's what your team is for. Ask for advice, bounce ideas off of each other, but do it in a positive way. Don't be the Eeyore of the group. And what I mean by that is, don't be the one that walks into the room and sucks all the energy out because you're so focused on the concerns or lack of success that you're having. That's in your head. And that can be turned around at any moment. But if you're not fully putting your energy toward attracting the things you want, you're giving yourself less of a chance to succeed. Responsibility equals liberation. Blame equals giving away your power. That's from The Slight Edge. And like, I looked at that and it blew my freaking mind, because I was like, yeah, take responsibility, guys. Most of the time, if things are not working out, there is something that was our doing in that. And I'm not saying that's always the case. It may not be. But take responsibility for what you have control over. And if you're going to spend your time blaming the weather, blaming the whatever it is, just like time. I mean, just know that the second you start putting blame on other people or the outside conditions, you're giving away your power. We are our greatest asset. We have the ability to make ish happen. So don't blame, just buck up, get it done, take responsibility for your actions, and know that your business is going to move forward as a result. 5, make good on your promises. This is a huge one for me, and this is a big one I've been reinforcing on my team a lot. When we all go through that coach training, we are asked, how long are you willing to commit? Put a number to it, right? How many times have you seen people already, that have maybe joined with you, or people that are on your team say, like, okay, I'm willing to give it a year, and then after 2 months of them not making a single, team cycle bonus or whatever it is, like whatever that first goal is for them, and they haven't hit it, they're out. Quit. And it doesn't just have to be with coaching, but how many times have you said you're committing to something in your life and then given up before you've hit that time limit that you've been willing to commit for? Think back to what it is that you said you were willing to commit to and make good on that promise. When things get tough, when we miss a goal, allow yourself to mourn it. And I'm going to say that just like, when you don't get the job in theater, like, give yourself the time to accept and be sad over that, but try and exercise the 24-hour rule. Like, every day you wake up, there's a new opportunity. So why are you going to continue to hold on to the things that happened yesterday or last week? That's just going to continue to bog you down, guys. And we are in the business of lifting each other up and keeping each other responsible to that. That is what people are attracted to. That's the kind of person I want to be around. So just allow yourself to mourn it for 24 hours and then move on. Force yourself to just focus your mind on what's next. What's next? How can I move forward? What is the solution to the issue? Don't allow the failures to cause you to give up, especially if it's before that date. You need to make good on that promise. And it's not just that promise, but it's whatever promise. If you said, I'm going to run a challenge group on the 15th of the month, then run a challenge group on the 15th of the month. Whatever it is, start pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and teaching yourself that you can follow through. I put here, pursue this with the same intent of wanting to prove someone wrong. And I don't know if you guys have had that happen a lot in your life, but I just know, like, I am someone who gets really fired up when someone tells me I can't do something. Like, that just gives me the, like, now I'm gonna do it because I'm not gonna let you tell me that I can't, pursue it with that same intent. That's how important it is to make sure you are living it out until that date you gave yourself. And you know what, guys? Like, if in that year you don't move forward, like, first of all, I dare you to say you didn't move forward, because if you're putting the 3 vitals into play for a year, there's just no way. There's no way. Not on this team. Like, I just feel like we're trained too well. We've got too many tools. Like, our hearts are in the right places here. You've got all the right people and things to learn from. There's no way that your business wouldn't grow in a year if you were putting those 3 things into play. If you commit to it. 6, aim to prove that you can. This one I'm going to refer to my notes to, because I want to give this justice. Always be willing to try to prove that you can, because your confidence is going to grow as you experience success. This is one that I feel in my personal journey has related a lot to my childhood. I think everyone starts maybe at a different place just based on how you grew up. And I was lucky to have parents that just instilled in me that I was capable of doing anything that I wanted to do. And so I was never afraid to go after things, because they were always supporting me and letting me know, you can be anything you want to, there was never any sense of doubt or failure on their views of me, which allowed me the success or the room for success, right? And I think that's such a tricky thing in Beachbody, because obviously not everyone comes in with that same openness or ability to go after their goals. But the thing is that we all have the power to change. We all have the power to change wherever we are starting. And you start doing that by aiming to prove that you can do something. And how do you do that? I said this in a team call last week for my team. Are you that coach that is going to push till 11:59 p.m.? Are you that person that's going to push right up until the freaking very end? I hope you all are, because you know what? If you are doing that every, last day of the month or whatever it is, every Wednesday leading into Thursday, eventually something is going to happen at 11:58 that is going to teach you it is worth it to go till 11:59 every single time. But until you give it enough chances and until you experience the success, you're not going to know that there's a reason to do that. So put yourself in the position, aim to give yourself every single opportunity that you can at success so that it happens. Because once it happens, your confidence is going to grow. You're going to feel so good about that moment and that hustle that went into that moment that you're going to do it every single time after that. 7, identify what makes you nervous and do that. This is like a big one for me. And I feel like this has shifted so much just in 6 months, because when you continually put yourself outside of your comfort zone, it is amazing how quickly those things become like non-issues anymore. So I encourage you to do what I did, which is make it a game. The second you recognize something that makes you scared or makes you nervous, write it down and then make it your goal to do that thing. Like, it's on paper, it's staring you in the face, and know that you have a commitment to fulfilling that thing. So for me, lately, this has been inviting fitness instructors. And like, I am a fitness instructor. I don't know why the hell this is so intimidating to me, but I feel like there's some kind of weird thing with me feeling like they already have their regimen that works for them, and like they're not going to be into the whole Beachbody thing. But like, why am I making that decision for them? That's not my job. It's important, guys, that we teach ourselves we are going to survive. And the only way that we teach ourselves that is by putting ourselves outside of our comfort zone, doing those things that are uncomfortable, and coming out of it in one piece. The worst thing that is going to happen is that someone might tell you no, or someone might give you some flack for it. And you know what? That is fine, because you have a team of warriors standing behind you that gets you, that supports what you're doing, that's going to be here to catch you when you fall. That is so much more important than that one no that you might hear. And guess what? You also might not hear it. So why not take the chance? Number 8, stay connected to both sides of your why. Now, this goes back to like the tough love kind of thing, the idea. I say stay connected to both sides of your why because our why is number 1, right? That is the thing that 100% keeps us going. And it's something that we should be reminding ourselves of daily. I know in a training that it was in the Diamond Mastery training that you gave us, Becca, there was a video on like putting out little reminders of what your why is. And someone had like a little teddy bear with a graduation hat to remind them of saving for their kids' college fund and things like that. Like, it's great to have reminders so that we are thinking about those things daily. But I also like to think in those tough moments, I like to think about the other side of my why, which is, what was life like for you before you found Beachbody, before this opportunity came into your life? Are you already starting to see income growth? Are you making legitimate changes in your lifestyle, in your family's lifestyle because of this opportunity? In those moments that it gets really, really tough, I have found myself coming out of it because I've thought, can I bear to live the way that I was living before this came into my life? And the answer for me is every single time, no, I just can't. Sacrificing my happiness, sacrificing my health, like those are things that I can't justify doing. And therefore, I'm not quitting anytime soon. So it's important to think about what those things are for you. Think about what you're sacrificing right now to move your business forward. And compare that to what you were sacrificing prior to entering into this opportunity. And do that. Like, look at those two things on paper and decide for yourself, what is the life that I want to be living? If it's anything, I trust that every single one of us that are business building, we're here because we have lives that we want to change. And so many of those are close to us. When you're connected that strongly to something, you don't want to give up. So remind yourself of that occasionally. Number 9, go get it. Visualize what you want, believe with your whole heart that you can have it, and go get it. Hashtag why not you, right? I say that all the time. Why not you? And like, we are no different. Becca says it all the time. We're no different than the people who are top coaches right now. The difference is that they've put the vitals into play longer than we have. And that's, like with time, we're all going to get there. Are you visualizing daily, like the life that you want to be living? Do you truly believe that you are worth having that? That's where PD comes in. Like, you got to be doing your personal development, guys, because you are worth having that. But if you don't look at yourself and believe that you are someone worthy of having that life that you want, it's going to be a really rough road getting there. So once you've done that, just decide. It's a decision. Go get it. Maybe you feel like that comes easier to other people. And like I said, I think that maybe has to do with the circumstances we grew up in. But again, your circumstances do not define you. Those are things that happened in the past. You may have grown up with a super supportive family and are coming into this with low self-esteem. Whatever the reason is, guys, these 9 things that I've listed so far, 10 things that I'm about to list, these are all steps you can take to help your business move forward. There's no reason, regardless of what walk of life you are coming from, that you cannot be successful in this. So change your mentality. Work on changing your mentality and decide that you are worth it and that you can have the life that you dream of. And last but not least, respect yourself. And I save this one for last because I think this is probably the most important and valuable one that has stepped into my life. You have to stop allowing other people to diminish you. Like, who has time for that? No one has time for that. Nor is that helping you in any way. And I think that's what this comes down to. If you want other people to respect you, then you need to be willing to show them that you mean business. And how do you do that? The best thing I could have ever done for myself, no matter how difficult, and this is something like I still struggle with, you need to be asking yourself, does this person, does this situation, whatever it is in your life, does this serve me? It is not a selfish question. If you are someone that struggles with being negative and you want positivity in your life, then you need to be willing to shut the people out that don't bring that to you. It's a hard thing to do, especially because a lot of them might be close to us. But you know what? Cutting what doesn't serve you out of your life is the best thing that you can do, because that is going to bring you happiness. Even, I've had friendships that I've had to distance myself from, and I have had emotional pain over it, sobbing sessions. But again, I proved to myself I can survive, and I come out of that so much happier because I realize that allowing that relationship or whatever to foster in my life was not serving me. And by me keeping it there, I'm not respecting myself. Respecting myself is honoring my dream and only allowing things into my life that are going to cultivate my desires and want and energy toward making that dream happen. It's not worth it to keep people and situations around. You don't need the drama, guys. We've all got responsibilities. We've all got things that keep us busy day in and day out. Our dreams are too big to be allowing the crap in. So cut it out and make that a priority. And if you feel disrespected, then you need to let people know that that's not okay. And you need to be willing to say, I'm going to respect myself enough to step away from this situation. And you know what's going to happen? Either those people are going to come back to you and change the way they are around you, or they're not going to be in your life anymore. Or maybe they will at a distance. But you need to start setting your boundaries, and you need to start respecting yourself enough to step away from that. So I just wanted to end with this quote. Negative and difficult things happen to all of us. Most of them are mostly or completely out of our control. It is how we react, how we view those circumstances and conditions that make the difference between success and failure. And that is completely within our control. And that's from The Slight Edge. So that's what I've got for you tonight. And I'm going to end with a call to action. I'm going to post a thread in the team page. And on that thread, I want each of you to recommit to your business. And you can do this tonight, you can do this tomorrow. Recommit to your business with what time frame you are truly willing to give. How much energy are you truly willing to give, and for how long? That's the first thing. And second thing is, what of these 10 things are you going to put into play first? I know that like change doesn't happen like this. We don't apply it all at one time, but you need to start. So if that starts with just choosing one thing and going upward from there, do that. So I want you to identify recommitting to your business, how long you're going to do that for, and identify for yourself where you're going to start in terms of this no excuses mentality. That's it.
Thank you so much. Oh, that was so good. I took a ton of notes. That was amazing. Do you mind staying on, Courtney, to do some Q&A?
No.
Okay. I don't want to keep everybody too long, but that was so good and so full of amazing little insights. I want to give you guys the opportunity to ask any questions that you want from Courtney, maybe about what she talked about, or if you want her opinion or advice on something. So if that's you, just unmute yourself so that you can ask. Or if for some reason you can't unmute, you can always ask it in the chat. Let me make my little chat window open. Does anybody have anything? Sarah, did you raise your hand?
Oh, yeah. So Courtney, I know you've one of your things is that you are always sort of going to people to get them to be discount groups.